Hello everyone, today we are going to make the orthographic projection of this given object in third angle projection, and the 3D view of this given object will look like this. So the first thing we have to do is to make this x and y axis, and I have made these lines, this line and this line, which is 10 mm away from this main axis, and similarly I have also made this line and this line, which is 10 mm away from this main axis, because I have assumed that our main object is 10 mm away from the reference plane, and we have already discussed about the rules of this third angle projection, because we are going to make the given object in third angle projection, and we already know that we have to make the top view in this side, and below this we have to make this front view, and we have to make the left side view in this side. So I'm going to start with this front view. From the front view, we will be able to see this baseline, and we can see that the total distance between these 2 points is 100. So first of all, I'm going to make a baseline of 100, and we have to see the height of this front view, and we can see that the height between these 2 points is 20 from this side, whereas the height above it is 28. So our total height will be 20 plus 28, which is equals to 48. So first of all, I'm going to make a rectangle of length 100 and height, which is equals to 48. We can easily make the rectangle of length 100 and height 48 like this. So our front view will be made only within this area, and this is just a reference line, and it will be very easy for us to make our front view within this area. In this way, we have fixed these 2 points here. Now the next thing we have to do is to fix this point and this point, and we can see that the height of this lower block is 20. You can see this from this side, because this side is equals to this side. So I'm going to make a line of height 20 like this. In this way, we have located this point number 3 and point number 8 in this point, and this is 20 mm height from this baseline. Now we have to look at this point number 4, and for this we need the length of this line. So we have the total baseline of 100 mm length, and we have this length as length 40 mm. So we can easily calculate the length of this side. So the length of this line will be 30, that is 100 minus 40, we will get 60, and when we divide 60 by 2, we will get the length of this side, which is equals to 30. So this length will be 30, and this length is also 30. So I'm going to project a line of length 30 from this side as well as this side, like this and like this, which is of length 30, and we can see that this line has been projected upwards. So I'm going to make a line from this point and this point vertically up. In this way, we have traced these all points in our front view, and we can see that here is a semicircle of diameter 30. So first of all, I have to make a center line over here. Now I have already made this center line here, and we can see that the center line has intersected this baseline at this point. So from this point, we have to make a semicircle of diameter 30 like this, and we can see that this line is not necessary, so I'm going to erase this line. Similarly, these blue lines are also not necessary, so I'm going to erase these lines. So our front view will look like this. We will be able to see the hidden lines coming from this circular portion as well as this side, but I'm going to project this later after making the top view. So I'm going to leave the front view up to this only. Now I'm going to make the top view. Now we are going to make the top view. So first of all, we have to project this line and this line towards the top view. Now we can see that the length of this top view is 100, which is equals to the length of this front view as well, and we can see that the breadth of this top view is 42, which is given here. So first of all, we have to make the breadth of top view, which is equals to 42. In this way, I have made the line of 42 mm breadth, and our top view will be made only within this area. Now I'm going to project this line and this line, and we can see that this line and this line has been projected from these 2 points. So I'm going to project the line from this point 1 and point number 2. That means this central rectangular block, which is projected from this point number 1 and point number 2, has been already been located in this side, like this. Inside this rectangular block, we can see that there is a circle of diameter 20, which is given here. So first of all, I'm going to make a center line over this side, like this. And we can see that these 2 lines have intersected at this point. So by using this point as a center, I can easily make a circle of diameter 20, like this. But we can see that this circle is not a complete circle. This has been cut by these lines. Now we have to make this line and this line And we can see that the total distance between this point and this point is 10, which is given here. That means these 2 points, that is point number 3 and point number 4, is located along this line, and these 2 points are 10 mm away from each other. So we have to do 10 by 2, which is equals to 5 mm, and it means that these 2 points will be 5 mm away from the center line. So from this point we have to make a line which is 5 mm up and 5 mm down. After making the line which is 5 mm away from the center line like this, you can easily extend this line such that it just intersects the circle like this. In this way, we can easily make this part, and we can see that there is no any cut in this side, so we don't need to make any lines in this side. And in this given question, we can see that our circle has been extruded completely up to the bottom. It means that this circular portion is a complete hole to the bottom. But this rectangular cut is 10 mm height only. Due to the intersection of this circular hole and this rectangular cut, this part has taken the remaining shape of this circle. So this circle will appear as a full complete circle from the top view. Now we are going to locate these points in the top view, and we have already located this point number 1 in our 2D, that is this point. So first of all, I'm going to locate this point number 2, and we can see that the total distance between these 2 points is 5. So I'm going to make a line which is 5 mm away from this point number 1 as well as this side. So I have made a line which is 5 mm away from this point number 1, and we can easily locate this point as point number 2. Now we have to locate this point number 3. But to locate this point number 3, there is no any hints. The actual length of this point number 2 and point number 3 is not given here. But we can locate this point number 4 easily. But we can see that the total horizontal distance between this point number 4 and point number 1 is 25. So I'm going to make a line which is 25 mm away from this point number 1 like this. So we can see that this line is 25 mm away from the point number 1. And this point number 4 and point number 5 will lie along this line. And we can see that the total distance between point number 4 and point number 5 is 10 mm. It means that these 2 points are 10 by 2 equals to 5 mm away from the center line. The center line and this main line has intersected at this point. So we have to make a line which is 5 mm up and 5 mm down like this, and we can easily locate this point number 4 and point number 5, which are 10 mm apart from each other. And in this question we can see that this point number 3 is located at a distance of 5 mm away from this point number 4. So first of all, we have to make a horizontal line like this from the point number 4 and mark a point which is 5 mm away from this point number 4 like this. Now we have to repeat the similar step to mark this point. So first of all, we have to extend a line from this point number 5 and mark a point which is 5 mm away from this point like this. And this line is also 5 mm, so we can easily mark this point as point number 6. Now we have located all these points in this part, so we can easily join this point number 2 and point number 3 like this, and it will become an inclined line. Similarly, we can also join this point number 6 and this point. In this way, we can easily locate these points in the top view. Now we have to repeat the similar step to mark the points in this part as well. So first of all, I'm going to make a line which is 5 mm away from this edge and this edge like this. These lines are 5 mm away from this edge. Now we have to make a line which is 25 mm away from this point and extend it downward. I have made this line 25 mm away from the edge. Now we can easily mark this point and this point because these 2 points are 10 mm apart. It means that these 2 points are 10 by 2, that is 5 mm away from the center line. So I can easily mark 2 points which is 5 mm away from the center line in the upward direction and in the downward direction like this. And we can easily extend a horizontal line from this point as well as this point. Then we can mark a point which is 5 mm away from this point. And finally, we can join these points like this. In this way, we have located all the points in our top view. I have made these blue lines just for reference, so I'm going to erase this line and this line because we won't be able to see any lines in these parts, and our top view will exactly look like this. And we will be able to see the hidden lines coming from this semicircular portion because this semicircular portion is a complete hole along the top view like this. And we will be able to see this line and this line from our bottom view, but these two lines will appear as a hidden line from our top view. So we have to project line from this point and this point along the top view, like this. And we need to convert these two lines, this and this, into the hidden line because these lines are seen only from the bottom view of this object. So our top view has been completed. I have already told you that this front view is not yet completed because we still have to make some hidden lines in the front view, and we can see from this 3D view that we will be able to see this line, and this line, as well as the line coming from this point number 3 in our front view. And these lines are projected from this point number 1, 2, 3 and 4. That means this point, this and this point from our top view. So I'm going to project the lines coming from these 4 points along the front view, like this. So I'm going to convert these 4 lines into the hidden line because these lines won't be visible from the exterior view. So it will appear as a hidden line from the front view, like this. And we can see that this is a circular hole which is extruded completely up to its bottom. So it is a complete hole to its bottom. But in this side we can see a small rectangular cut of depth 10 mm which is given here. We can see its depth as 10 mm. So we will be able to see this hidden lines coming from this cut portion in this part of the front view. So we have to make line coming from this point number 2 and 3 to the front view, like this. And we will be able to see this line along this line, and it will appear as a hidden line. And the height of this cut portion is 10 mm. So we can easily make a line of 10 mm in this side. And to make this line, we can easily extend line coming from this point, like this. In this way, the cut portion will appear like this in our front view. Now we have to project the hidden lines coming from this circular portion. And I have already told you that this circular portion is a complete hole to the bottom. So we need to project the line coming from this point as well as this point, because these 2 points are the extreme end of the circular portion. So I'm going to project the lines coming from this point and this point, this and this. So we can easily make the hidden lines of this circular hole in this portion as well as this portion. So the hidden line of this cylindrical portion will appear like this only, and we don't need to make the hidden line in this part because in this part we can see that there is a cut portion like this. So we don't need the hidden lines in this portion. So our front view has been completed. Now we are going to make the left side view. Now we have to project the line from this side and this part to the left side view to make the boundary of this left side, like this. So the side view will be made only within this area. Now we will be able to see this solid line from our left side view, and this point resembles this point in our front view. So we have to project a line coming from this point to the left side view, like this. And this line will be visible as a dark solid line, like this. So these 4 points in our side view represents this point, this point, this and this point from our 3D view. We will be able to see this solid line like this and this. So to project these lines, we have to project the lines coming from this point number 2. So I'm going to project a line from point number 2 to our left side view, like this. And I'm going to convert this line into the solid line because this line will be visible from our exterior view from the left side. Now we have to project the line coming from this point, like this, and convert this line into solid line, like this. Now I'm going to project line from this point number 4 in our left side view, like this. And I'm going to convert this line into solid line as well. Finally, I'm going to project this point number 5 to our left side view, like this, and convert this line into solid line as well. So our left side view will look like this. After projecting all these lines, we have to look at this small rectangular cut portion in our left side view. So to look at these points, first of all we have to look at all these points in our top view as well as in our front view, and finally we can project it to our left side. I have numbered all these points in this top view as well as in this front view. From the top view we will be able to see this 1, 6, 5 and 4 points, that is this part. And from our front view we will be able to see this part here. So I can easily project the line coming from these points in the left side view like this. And we can see that the lines coming from this cut portion, that is this line, and this line has already been projected, so we can easily locate our cut over this portion. So I'm going to make this portion as a solid dark line. Now we have drawn all these exterior lines, but now we have to draw the hidden lines for this side view, and we will be able to see the hidden line coming from this circular portion because it is a complete hole up to the bottom. And we can see that due to the intersection of this circular hole and this semicircular hole, we will be able to see the slight effect of intersection of these two solids. So our bottom view will look like this. So we will be able to see this part as a hidden line in our left side view also. So we need to project this part in our left side view. And I have already told you that this circular portion has intersected this semicircular portion. So because of these two intersection of solid, we will be able to see a slight intersection effect in this part. So first of all, we have to mark any point lying in the curved portion in the top view. So we can mark any points lying from this portion to this portion because we are going to view these portion in our side view. So first of all, I'm going to mark this point as point number 1. Then we need to project it to the front view. So first of all, I'm going to project this point number 1 to our front view. And we have to mark the point where it intersected the semicircle. That means this point number 1 has intersected the semicircle at this point. So we can mark this point as point number 1. Then it states that project the same point from the front view to the side view. So we have to project this point number 1 from the front view to our side view. So I'm going to project a line from this point number 1 to our side view like this. Then we have to project the same point from the top view to the side view. That means we have to project this point number 1, which is in the top view, to our left side view. So I'm going to project the line to the left side from this point number 1 like this. Finally, mark the point where the projected lines have intersected in the side view. That means we have projected this line and this line. So these two lines have intersected at this point, so we have to mark this point as point number 1 in our left side like this. So we are going to repeat the same process. So I'm going to mark the point number 2 as this. So I have already marked the point in our top view. Then next thing we have to do is to project that point to the front view and mark the point where it intersected the semicircle. So I'm going to project this point number 2 to our front view. And the line has already been projected here. We can see this, and it has intersected the semicircle at this point. So I'm going to mark this point as point number 2 like this. Then we have to project the same point from the front view to the side view. So I'm going to project a line from this point to the left side like this. Then we have to project the same point from the top view to the side view. That means this point number 2 from our top view is this. So we have to project this point number 2 to our left side like this. Then we have to mark the point where these two projected lines have intersected. That means this line from the top view and this line from the front view. So these two lines have intersected at this point. So I'm going to mark this point as point number 2 like this. Now again, I'm going to repeat the same process. I'm going to mark this point as point number 3. Then I'm going to project this point to our front view, and we can see that this line has already been projected because the point number 1 and point number 3 both lies at the same point in the front view. After projecting this line to the front view, we have to project this line to the left side, and this line has also been projected in the left side view. So we have projected the same point from the front view to the side view, that is this line. After that, we have to project the same point from the top view to the side view. That means we have to project this point number 3 from the top view to the side view like this. And finally, we have to find the point where these two lines have intersected. That means this projected line and this projected line. So these both lines have intersected at this point. So this point resembles our point number 3 from the left side like this. You can join these 3 points by the help of the French curve, or if you do not have a French curve, you can join these 3 points manually. So it will take the shape of the arc, and above it we need the hidden lines because we will be able to see the hidden lines coming from this circular portion. So we need to convert this into a hidden line. So we will be able to see this kind of the hidden lines due to the intersection of this circular hole and this semicircular portion. And finally, we will be able to see the hidden lines coming from this semicircular portion in this part and this part, because here is no any intersection of the solids. And finally, our left side view has been completed. In this way, we have completed the orthographic projection of the given object in third angle projection.